Right now at 6, a semi versus power pole crash sends a man to the hospital. What we know about his condition and whether traffic is still blocked in that area. And after blocking a vote on extended Medicaid for new moms, News 3 Now asks the Assembly Speaker why he did it. And here's from the House's top Democrat on what comes next. Plus, it's the time of the year when people are rushing to stores to exchange unwanted gifts. The deadlines and potential fees you should keep in mind before you head to the mall. We welcome you to News 3 Now at 6. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Eric Franke. Sarah Carlson is off today. We now know the names of two people found dead in a home in Rock County the day after Christmas. 53-year-old Tammy and 54-year-old Jeffrey Borgwart, both of Evansville, were found dead just before 5 o'clock in the evening. This was at a home on North Marsh Road in the town of Magnolia. Deputies found the two while performing a welfare check there, and we're still waiting for the results on how they died. But the sheriff's office says there is no threat to the public. Time now for a check of your most accurate, certified forecasts. Alex is here with a look at a potential warm-up coming our way.
It's on the way, and it's only just a couple days away. Eric, in southern Wisconsin, we got to get through Saturday and Sunday. Those temperatures are normal for this time of year. Nothing normal about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of next week as those temperatures climb into the upper 30s to the lower 40s. So that warm-up is just right around the corner for southern Wisconsin. Tonight we'll have temperatures about where they should be in the teens, with clouds filling on in as we move through the overnight hours. As we go into Saturday, those clouds may be producing a snow shower or two, especially for areas north and east of Madison, with temperatures, as I just mentioned, normal for this time of year, and then anything but normal is going to slowly start to work its way into the forecast once we get into Sunday evening. A little price to pay for moving to the warmer temperatures. We've got a mix of light snow and some freezing drizzle that could give us some slick spots. When I come back, Eric, in just a couple moments, we'll go through that weather system, because it's not just southern Wisconsin that will be impacted by it. The whole Midwest will be. More on that in just a little bit.
All right, Alex, thank you. Right now, the ramp from County End to the Interstate 3990 North is still closed because of a crash. A semi slamming into a power pole about 2:30 this morning near McFarland. Multiple agencies responding. Crews learned the driver lost control, got trapped after that pole landed on the semi. Power was shut off to those downed lines. The driver taken to the hospital. He is expected to survive. In a separate incident, a car that crashed into a utility pole in Madison shut down some lanes. The northbound lanes on Fish Hatchery Road were closed near the UW Arboretum at the intersection with Carver Street. The Madison Fire Department and MG&E crews were at the scene. Drivers are still being asked to avoid that area. It was a big year in the Wisconsin legislature, with lawmakers coming together from both sides of the aisle to reach an agreement on the state budget. But the willingness of both parties to come to the table on some issues wasn't enough to get one piece of legislation passed in the Assembly's final floor session of the year. Speaker Robin Vos essentially blocked legislation to expand postpartum Medicaid coverage. And that bipartisan effort would have extended coverage for new moms to 1 year after giving birth. Currently, Wisconsin is one of just 2 states that does not have expanded coverage. In year-end interviews with the Speaker and the Assembly's minority leader, our political reporter Ellie LaLiberte asked why Speaker Vos blocked the legislation and what Democrats think should happen next.
So we have done a really good job providing a social safety net already in Wisconsin. I think the idea of expanding welfare might feel good, but in the end, it's not good for the mom, it's not good for society, and it's certainly not the best interest of the state of Wisconsin.
My hope is that his caucus, our Republican colleagues, will push on him to say, this is something that the people of Wisconsin want, it's the right thing to do, and we can't allow this to stall any longer.
You can hear more from those interviews, including whether Speaker Vos thinks the legislature will take the issue up again in the new year this Sunday. And for the record, it airs at 10:30 a.m. right after CBS's Face the Nation. In other political news, Governor Tony Evers will give his State of the State address February 17th. This will be the governor's final State of the State after announcing last year he would not seek a third term. Governor Evers has not endorsed a candidate in the crowded Democratic primary field to replace him yet. More local news. If you're itching to head back to the farmers market, you won't need to wait very long. Our Maya Tate met with the assistant market manager for the Dane County Farmers Market to learn more about the upcoming Winter Farmers Market. Maya?
Yeah, Eric, the Winter Farmers Market is back this weekend at the Garver Feed Mill, and you might see some familiar summer favorites. Stella's Bakery, Westridge Organic Farm, and Renaissance Farm are just a few that you may see. But aside from grabbing some of your favorite items, Rachel Figueroa from the Dane County Farmers Market says that shopping local helps keep business in Dane County and the food system running.
A lot of our small-scale farmers don't have many opportunities to sell their produce during the winter, so it's really important to come out to the winter farmers market each week so that they can make a living throughout these months.
Figueroa also says that shopping at the winter farmers market is more personal than just running to the store. Instead, you can chat with vendors and learn more about their products. Every Dane County Farmers Market also offers the use of SNAP and EBT services to ensure that everyone can buy local goods. The market runs now until April 4th from 8 a.m. to noon in the main event space at the Garver Feed Mill. For a full list of vendors each week, you can check out the Dane County Farmers Market social media or newsletter.
All right, Maya, thank you. A third-party report from a consulting firm hired by the UW has recommendations for the university to improve oversight. UW asked consulting firm Deloitte to complete the report after its former DEI director was found to have given staff unauthorized raises, spent lavishly on travel, supplies, and furniture. Deloitte recommended organizing projects into one central capital plan. It also recommended creating a job position focused on finance and administration. The Trump administration says it's delaying proposed tariff hikes on imported upholstered furniture, kitchen cabinets, and vanities by a year. The administration cited ongoing negotiations with trading partners. For now, those levies will remain at 25%. Commerce Department and Italian officials also confirmed that tariffs on Italian-made pasta have been rolled back. It follows the Trump administration's reduction of levies on a range of products like beef, coffee, and bananas over consumer affordability concerns. A recent CBS News poll found that more than 60% of Americans disapprove of the president's handling of the economy and inflation. January is the biggest month for returns as unwanted holiday gifts head back to retailers. Our consumer reporter Michelle Renee Quinn shares the deadlines and new fees that you should keep in mind.
Tens of millions of dollars in holiday gifts will be sent back this month, and be prepared to pay up. More than 70% of retailers are charging for returns this year, and the National Retail Federation says 17% of all holiday sales will be returned, and 82% of shoppers will return at least one unwanted gift within the month. The CEO of Happy Returns says the fees cover big costs like shipping and handling, or if the item is damaged, the fees help pay to refurbish them. He suggests to read the fine print and opt for an in-store return if possible.
It's just much less friction than having to print a label, find a box, tape it up, and wait to get your money back. And they often are the cheapest form.
Be sure you know your return windows. Big retailers like Walmart, Amazon, and Kohl's have a cutoff date of January 31st. For items bought from October through December, Best Buy has a return deadline of January 15th. Macy's is until January 31st. Target's extended holiday return policy applies to items purchased on November 1st through December 24th, and you can return those until the 24th of January, which is the same deadline as home goods. Returns for Apple and Beats products at Target have a much shorter deadline, and that's January 8th. That's next Thursday. And it applies to purchases made at Apple as well. But if you have gifts from TJ Maxx or Marshalls, you have until February 4th to return them. And if you miss a return deadline or want to avoid fees, you can always resell unwanted gifts or continue to spread the cheer with the age-old practice of regifting or swapping with a friend.
And you can follow Michelle Renee's Consumer Reports during the week or watch her on Saturday and Sunday anchoring News 3 Now weekend mornings. Travelers have just 1 month left to update to the Real ID before the TSA imposes a new fee. Airport passengers who don't present a Real ID or other acceptable forms of identification like a passport or permanent residency card will be required to pay $45 in order to fly starting February 1st. TSA warns that air travelers could experience longer wait times if they don't have that acceptable form of ID. Still ahead at 6, our senior Packers writer Jason Wilde looking ahead to Sunday's game against the Minnesota Vikings. What head coach Matt LaFleur has to say about the prospect of Bo Melton playing on both sides of the ball this weekend when we come back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 6.
4 current and 2 former Badger women's hockey players will represent Team USA at the 2026 Winter Olympics in Italy next month. Layla Edwards, Carolyn Harvey, Kirsten Sims, and Ava McNaughton made the U.S. Olympic team. All 4 currently play for the UW women's hockey team, joining former Badgers Hillary Knight and Britta Curl on the U.S. national team. All 6 have competed for Team USA in recent months, taking on Team Canada in the 2025 Rivalry Series. In November and December, the U.S. won all 4 games, outscoring Canada 24-7. Packers set to take on the Vikings Sunday, and one player may end up taking on 2 roles on both sides of the ball. News 3 Now senior Packers writer Jason Wilde explains.
The other day, I asked Packers All-Pro safety Xavier McKinney, one of the team's unquestioned leaders, if there was anyone in the locker room who didn't like Bo Melton. He, of course, said no. Everyone likes Bo. I knew the answer to that long before I asked the question, because everyone does love the Packers' cornerback / wide receiver / kickoff returner. And that would explain why his teammates and his coaches are so excited that Melton could play both offense and defense in Sunday's regular season finale against the Minnesota Vikings.
I would say this, if Bo has to go out and he does play defense in this game, I'd bet on him, because what I do know he's going to do, he's going to go out and compete, and he is going to tackle, and he's going to be physical. And if he's got to cover, one of the best in the game in Justin Jefferson, he's not going to back down. And that's why you love a guy like Bo. It's the makeup, and, you just root for guys like that.
I think anytime you get a lot of confidence, it's fun to put anybody that you're confident in a position to go out there and make plays. So, I think it's remarkable what he's been able to do this year and some of the situations he's been in, and then he's making plays, and just his ability to go from offense to defense, back to offense to defense to offense. Not too many guys that can do that.
Oh, we about to find out. Definitely about to find out. But I feel like I could last, a long time in the game. Just because of special teams, I feel like that prepared me a lot. Just going, playing corner on punt return, stuff like that. It's kind of up my reps a little bit. So, but definitely about to find out.
We'll see if Bo Melton gets to play on both offense and defense on Sunday, and you'll be able to see it right here on Channel 3 as the game kicks off from Minneapolis at noon. We'll have full coverage leading into the game and of the game itself on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for the Packers newsletter, which delivers that coverage directly to your inbox every single day. In Green Bay at Lambeau Field, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Thanks, Jason. We want to reiterate the Packers game against the Vikings will air right here on CBS. Kickoff at noon, and while Jordan Love is cleared to play out of concussion protocol now, he will only do so as an emergency backup option as third stringer Clayton Tune set to start at quarterback. When we're back, Alex tracking some warmer weather on the way. He tells us how warm we're talking and when it'll arrive. His first warn forecast is next.
All right, here we go. Warm-up is on the way for southern Wisconsin. Temperatures climbing from the 20s all the way to the 40s by the time we get to the middle and latter part of next week. And that's part of the 3 things you got to get out of the forecast. Clouds and then a light mix. That's the wee price to pay to warm up as we get out into next week. So that big warm-up is on the way to southern Wisconsin and some weather out ahead of it. Now, we'll have clouds tonight. Those will fill back in to southern Wisconsin. As we go on into the daytime Saturday, we can't rule out a snow shower too, especially for areas Madison and points off towards the north and towards the east. We'll turn partly cloudy again Saturday night before the clouds fill on in as we go on into Sunday. But that mix really from the Wisconsin River Valley, say Lone Rock over to Madison, over to I-94 and areas up towards the north. Better chances up towards Juneau, Adams, Marquette, and Green Lake counties for that snow and that mix as we go into Sunday. And then that's the price we pay for the warmer temperatures to come in by Monday. Now, it's not just southern Wisconsin that will see this brief blip of snow and that mixed precipitation on Sunday. It's much of the upper Midwest, from Minneapolis to Eau Claire, over to Green Bay, down to Madison by the time we get into Sunday evening. But it's a quick mover. Watch what happens. It swings right behind me here. By the time we get to Monday morning, it's already through the area. Could have a little bit of accumulation, central and northern parts of Wisconsin. Not expecting significant accumulation here in southern Wisconsin, but it doesn't take much, just some wet snowflakes, and then you add a little freezing drizzle. We got some slick spots are expected Sunday evening out ahead of all the warm stuff that's then going to be moving into southern Wisconsin. Can't forget about tonight. Temperatures in the mid-teens to upper teens. Clouds again are going to be on the increase throughout the area this evening. On Saturday, can't rule out a couple snow showers, as I mentioned before. Temperatures in the lower 20s to the north. We'll do mid-20s here in Madison, about 24 degrees. So very typical early January day ahead for southern Wisconsin on Saturday. Now, the Packers game up in Minneapolis, that's indoors, so they don't have to worry about the temperatures, nor do they not have to worry about the precipitation at least falling on the game. But if you have any travel plans, as I mentioned, Minneapolis swinging across the state of Wisconsin Sunday night, just be on guard that there could be slick spots in the entire state of Wisconsin. Some rain on Tuesday, rain on Thursday. Weather system up next Friday. That could bring another mix of rain and snow. Now, I showed this during the 5 o'clock newscast. I'm going to build on this. I don't want southern Wisconsin for you to forget, even though we've had decent amount of snow, we're ahead of what we saw all of last year. We're still dealing with drought conditions across much of southern Wisconsin, especially areas from the Dells to Lone Rock to Mineral Point, just west of Madison, down towards Monroe. We have a moderate to a severe drought continuing across here, and we could really use more precipitation, whether it's in the form of snow, or whether it's in the form of rain. And I mentioned I'd take us even further. This takes us all the way out 2 weeks, the 2-week temperature outlook, looking warmer than normal, or at least a good chance of being warmer than normal for a good part of the country, and that includes southern Wisconsin. Water, not looking as though we're going to have very high chances of seeing water or snow in southern Wisconsin over the course of the next couple of weeks. And again, we could certainly use that moisture with drought conditions continuing across not just southern Wisconsin, but much of the state of Wisconsin. Show this at 5. Let's show it again here. Scan that QR code if you want us to show some of your weather photos in southern Wisconsin. Thank you, Jamie. This picture here over Lake Monona. We'd love to see those photos, and thank you again, Jamie, for sending us this photo in. Next week, we're going to be seeing photos of the snow melting, and also want to put a plug out there for area lakes. You might want to be definitely tuning into the forecast. You're going to need to be careful next week.
All right, Alex, thank you. Packers playing indoors this weekend.
Yeah, Eric, a lot to talk about coming up. Can the Packers end their regular season with a win? How they are approaching their Week 18 matchup against the Vikings. Plus, the Bucks play their first game of the new year. All that next in sports.
And now, News 3 Now Sports, brought to you by TDS Telecom.
The Packers clinched a spot in the playoffs on Christmas Day due to a Detroit Lion loss against Minnesota. Green Bay then secured the final seed in the NFC just 2 days later after their own loss to Baltimore on Saturday Night Football. The Green and Gold are itching for a win after 3 straight losses, but head coach Matt LaFleur has chose to play it safe heading into their final regular season matchup against the Vikings. Despite clearing NFL's concussion protocol, Jordan Love will not be the starting quarterback. It will be the third man up, Clayton Tune. But with the surrounding circumstances, players know the Week 18 matchup is a game they feel is a must-win heading into the postseason.
It's week by week how I look at it. You can't look at what's next. You got to focus on this game. Then whatever comes next week, we'll deal with that then. Like I said, at the end of the day, you got to beat the man in front of you, and that's what it's always going to be about.
Yeah, every game matters, man. I think every game, momentum swings is a huge thing going into the next game. So that's definitely our goal, to go out there and play as hard as we can and build our momentum going into the playoffs.
The Bucks' wild season hopefully will take a turn for the best heading into the new year. Tonight at 7 o'clock, the Bucks take on the Charlotte Hornets, hoping to start their 2026 off with a win. Right now, Milwaukee sits at 14-20, and they are ranked the 11th ranked team in the Eastern Conference. The Deer are currently a few games back from what would be a spot in the play-in tournament, but this year's ends could give the Bucks a fresh start to turn around what has been a disappointing first third of the season.
Our situation all year, not being able to just be emotionally mature enough to dance in the rain, mature enough to do that consistently on a winning basis, and understanding that you may not play this game, or you may not get shots, or you may not be as involved as you may like. But can you still just do your job? And that's the thing that we just can't overcome right now.
Finally, stay tuned. Coming up right after this, we got a good one. This week's Huddle with News 3 Now sports director Andrew Banstra features this season's best of Wisconsin football right here at 6:30.
All right, Nash. And later tonight, News 3 Now at 10, another busy travel day during this holiday period as many head home from their vacations. How many flights are actually expected to take off? We'll have more on that and more tonight. News 3 Now at 10. Alex is back as we take one final check of the forecast.
A little price to pay in our forecast. Not tonight, but it's on the way. It's Sunday night. We have a price to pay. Temperatures in the teens tonight, and then temperatures in the 20s as we go into Saturday. Can't rule out the possibility that we may have a couple snow showers or two if my graphics will decide to move. There they decide to move. Now these graphics need to warm up a little bit, so clearly that's coming in our forecast, but not before that price of little mixed precipitation Sunday evening. Tonight at 10, we'll use Future Track to show you the very latest projection on where that mix of light snow and freezing drizzle is going to set up. And then after that, there we go. The graphics will be plenty happy next week with warm temperatures in the 30s to right around 40 degrees. But again, tune in tonight at 10 on the very latest Future Track projection of Sunday's mix.
All right, Alex, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 Now at 6. Coming up next is Entertainment Tonight. Our next newscast, of course, tonight, News 3 Now at 10. You can always find us streaming 24/7 at Channel 3000+.